What is up, dudes? It's Jamieehills bringing you some HomeFront multiplayer gameplay. This is on the map Farm. It's a team deathmatch, and before I run through with you my impressions on whether I think you should buy this game or not, what I like, what I dislike, things like that, I want to run through with you my particular class setup and why I've customized it this way. Because I've found that this class setup I'm using is very effective on pretty much every map for both close quarters, combat, and long distance shooting. And I've been pulling about 2-3 KD on average each game I've played the last 10 or so games using this setup. So firstly, for those of you who aren't familiar with this game, are curious about what weapons there are, what attachments you can have on the weapons, what equipments or kill streak rewards, battle point rewards you can have, and what kind of special abilities you can have, be sure to check out the video I posted yesterday where I run through HomeFront's Armoury system. I'll leave a link in the description or an annotation here for you guys to check that out first and come back to this so you know what I'm talking about. So far I've used 3 assault rifles. Firstly, I'm a big assault rifle fan. I haven't really used the LMGs in this game. The SMGs are pretty much useless because they're not very accurate at long distance. SMGs aren't made for long distance, and the maps in this game are fairly big, so I kind of rule out SMGs at this point of time. The sniper rifles are really fun. I've got some sniping gameplay to upload where play aggressively with the sniper rifle, and the shotguns are pretty much pointless, I've found so far. So I was sticking to the assault rifles here, and out of the 3 that I've used, I'm finding that the ACR is most effective. The M4, it does have a faster rate of fire and less damage, so it's pretty much balanced to the ACR, which has high damage and slower rate of fire. But just the whole notion that there's a lot of long distance shooting in this game, that the high rate of fire does give you a bit more recoil at long distance, even when bursting. So I'm finding that the ACR is a bit more effective for me, and especially equipped with a holographic sight, you've got some pinpoint accuracy there, and I'm finding that there's a bit less recoil when using the holographic sight in comparison to just using the iron sight. So that's why I'm using the ACR and the holographic sight here. So my equipment slots or battle point rewards in this game, if you don't know already, when you kill someone, you'll get battle points. When you achieve an objective, you'll get battle points. When you help out your team, you'll get battle points. And what you can do with those battle points is purchase rewards. So see here, I've got flak jacket and UAV equipped. If I press up on my D-pad, it'll purchase a flak jacket on the fly, meaning that I think it's just a bit more armor for me. So I found that I die a lot less when using flak jacket, so that's why I like to use that particular reward. And if I press down on my D-pad, I've got the UAV, and for me I find the UAV is the most effective reward in this game, especially when just starting the game. When you're fresh from spawn, you chuck on your UAV and it just gives you a general overview of where the enemy are and the general direction of where they're heading to, so you can get a nice flank and take them out from behind. So also, I'm finding people are starting to use a UAV a bit more now. When I first started playing the game, I was pretty much the only person using the UAV, and it gave me a massive advantage. So people are starting to catch on to that, and hopefully it helps you out if you're just new to this game and you're not sure which rewards to use. The special abilities I'm using, attack, reload, and what that is faster reloading. I am pretty much a pretty big rusher. I like to get around the back of enemies and take out a few at a time, and when you come into a situation when you're faced with 2 or 3 enemies, having a faster reload does make a massive difference, and I'm finding that it's more effective to just quickly reload than actually switching out to your pistol. Straight from the hip is my second ability, and I find that in close quarter situations it's just easier to spam the trigger and hip fire. So having the straight from the hip ability, which is similar to steady aim in Call of Duty, it's pretty unbeatable at close distance, especially when coming across 2 or 3 enemies at once. You can get a nice hip fire, triple spray, double spray, things like that. I'm finding that to be very effective in this game. So once again, if you're curious about the different abilities there is, check out my video I posted yesterday where I run through all that. Now onto my impressions, what I generally feel about this game. So overall, I find this game to play pretty similar to Medal of Honor. It doesn't have that really quick twitch, smooth, fast-paced gameplay feel as Call of Duty. It's not as momentous as Killzone 3 or Bad Company 2, and what I mean by that is the weight behind the character, where it kind of feels like you've got some weight behind you. Turning corners feels a bit sluggish. It does have that feel, but just in my opinion, not as much. It kind of has a feel of Medal of Honor. Now, I know Medal of Honor and Bad Company 2 use the same engine, but you know, you don't have to tell me that. I'm just giving you my impressions of what I feel. If you feel differently, that's fine. But I'm finding that it has a general Medal of Honor style feel, but the whole maps and graphics, the intricate details in the buildings, and that it generally, I think that it looks like Mag. If you've played Mag before, you'll know what I mean, but people are comparing this game to Bad Company 2, and I don't think they've actually played Mag before. Now, Bad Company 2, the maps are big, there's a lot of buildings in them, but the buildings are pretty much empty. And I know that Bad Company 2 does have a destructible environment, which you know, will take away the bandwidth from what they could actually put inside. I don't know if bandwidth's the right word, whatever. Put inside the buildings, but when you run into a building in Bad Company 2, there's no desks, there's no picture frames on the walls, there's no pot plants and flowers on the tables, shit like that. In this game there actually is. Now, this map isn't the best example of that, but there is another map in the game where you're running through what looks like a neighborhood, and generally it gives a really big home feel to it. Like, you're running through these buildings and they have substance behind them, and although it's not a destructible environment like Bad Company 2, but I am liking this. It's different, and the last thing you want is a clone, especially with Battlefield 3 coming out you know, in the near future. You don't want to have this game exactly like that. So I find Mag is pretty much dead, and Homefront is taking over Mag. And you know, you look at what I'm saying is the maps are pretty big, and they're intricate. They're not just hollow, empty maps with open landscapes. One map does have a bit of that, but the majority of the maps are pretty damn intricate, and I'm enjoying it a lot. The graphics, of course, aren't the best. Like I said, they're like Mag. They do suffice. They're not as good as Killzone 3 or Crysis 2. They're probably, you know, I like them better than Black Ops. I think Modern Warfare 2 and COD 4 looked better than Black Ops, but that's just my opinion. The audio in this game, not as good as DICE games like Bad Company 2 and DICE. Medal of Honor, I mean. But, you know, at least the guns firing don't sound like Tic Tacs being thrown at a wall like they do in Black Ops. You know, you'll run around, you will hear the helicopters flying ahead. If you're standing in the grass, you will hear some crickets and some general ambient sounds, which I find that they give a nice full feel to the game. It makes you really feel absorbed into it, and that you're actually fighting for a bigger cause. There are dedicated servers in this game. There have been problems so far, but they are fixing that up at the moment. I'm playing on a red connection now. All night I played on red connection, and as you'll see, I've pretty much found that there is no lag at all. So I'm ignoring that I've got a red connection. I couldn't imagine what would happen if I had green. But I'm finding there's no lag, so I'm pretty happy with that at the moment, which means I can play with my international friends with ease. Whether I think you should get this game or not, and whether I think it'll last, to be honest, I don't think it's going to last the long run. Battlefield 3 is coming out. I think that's just going to overshadow this straight up, but if you're looking for something to play until then, go ahead. Final score is 20-something on 1. Black screen right now. One last thing I wanted to run through before I let you guys go is to be sure to follow me on Twitter. I've only got about 150 followers now, but that's where I'll do most of my communicating about open lobbies, new videos, gaming news, my impressions on the fly. So while I was playing Crysis 2 demo, for example, I was just tweeting non-stop what I'm thinking about the game, stuff like that. And I've also got a Facebook page. I'll leave the links in the descriptions below, but hope you've enjoyed my impressions. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them. I've been playing the Crysis 2 demo. I'll be uploading some gameplay from that after this, and I'll try to get that sniping video up for you guys pretty soon. I think the final score is only 18 on 6, but you know, it's got some nice shots in there and give you a feel for the sniping. So please rate and let me know your thoughts and stuff, and I'll catch you in my next vid.